Hey everybody, it's Mr. Marshall here at Stony Lane. I want to talk to you about writing today, writing essays, right? Sometimes when we're writing an essay, um, we have to kind of choose what we're going to write about. And sometimes that can be hard because we start writing about one thing, you're like, I'm not really sure. So I want to talk to you about how you can kind of if you're stuck between writing about one thing or another, you can use this strategy that I'm going to teach you, and that's called making a four-square model. Okay, so let me show you how this goes. So you would do this in your writer's notebook or your Chromebook or wherever. I'm going to do it on this. So you make a big rectangle that looks like that, and then you make four squares inside it, just like that. Okay, and so let's pretend that I'm writing about my two favorite sports to play. Okay, let's pretend I'm a kid that's that's into sports. And actually, there's a third grader I know who knows these exact two sports because he's on both. Okay, and so one is baseball. He likes playing on a baseball team, and then he likes wrestling. Okay, and so he wants to he loves them both, but he's not sure which one he loves more. Okay, and he's not sure which one to write about. So what we're going to do is on top, we're going to put a plus sign. That means the things I love, and a minus sign, things I'm not that crazy about within each sport. Okay, so let me show you what I mean. So in this box, I'm going to write all the things that I think are great about baseball. So in baseball, I love my team, right? I love my team because baseball is a team sport, right? In baseball, I love that there's your speed is good because if you're a fast runner, which I am, or this kid is, right? Then that's good because you can when you run the bases, it helps if you're fast. If you're running to catch the ball in the field, it helps if you're fast, right? In baseball, um, there's lots of people come for baseball games, right? So there's an audience. There's more of an audience, and that's exciting to play in front of an audience. Okay. What's good about wrestling is it makes you stronger. And wrestling, you can practice by yourself. You don't need a whole team there. You can practice by yourself. In wrestling, there's lots of choices in how you do stuff, right? You have to learn a whole lot of different skills and try out different skills. Sometimes you want, you learn about things to defend yourself, and you learn about things to be on the offensive, right? Different kinds of moves, and you can kind of go at your opponent in lots of different ways. Okay. What's not so good about any of these? Well, in wrestling there is no team. And if you like playing with a team, then that's not so good. But in wrestling, you can pace yourself. When you're training, you can do as much or as little as you want, right? But that also means you have to be disciplined. You can't just have a lazy day, right? So there's no team to push you, and then it's easy to be lazy. Okay. Let me see. In baseball, there's a schedule, and you have to stick to the schedule because other people are going at practice at the same time, right? In baseball, you have to wait your turn, and sometimes you're the last one to play when you're going to bat, right? In baseball, there's not a lot of choice. Well, actually, it's not true because you can choose to you can choose to pitch the ball if you're the pitcher in different ways. So, but you see what I'm doing? You see how I'm using this like to write down my ideas about what's good and what's not so good about two things that I am thinking about? Okay. I'm doing this with these sports, but I could do this with anything. Like I could do this with my favorite authors, or I could do this with the kinds of books that I read, or I could do this with foods or places to go, right? Anything like that you can think about, like where you're comparing two things, think about the good and the not so good, right? So that's something that you can do to kind of get your ideas out. And like, let's say that I decide that I like wrestling better because of these things, then these can become things that I write about in my notebook, and maybe they can be part of my boxes and bullets in my essay too. Okay? So that's something that you can do to get your ideas figured out before you have to write a whole big essay. Okay? So why don't you try that, and I'll see you next time.